Hi everyone, welcome back. I'm a YK Swedish whiskey girl and today I'm here with Jura 18. And first of all, a massive thank you to brand ambassador Andrew for giving me this lovely sample. I'm so excited to try it. For me, Jura is quite a curious distillery. It seems to be one of those distillers that you either love or hate. And recently, I don't know if it's because we've been on lockdown and I was supposed to go to Islay and I couldn't, but I just have this longing to be on an island, be it if I go up to Orkney or Islay or Jura. And Jura seems like a wonderful place. So Jura is an island located on the west coast of Scotland, quite close to Islay. And they have, of course, Jura the distillery, but not just that, they have lots of deer and they have just one road. So it seems like a wonderful place to go, especially if you like whiskey. So I really hope I'll be able to go one day. And I read on their website and they described it in such a wonderful way that it's this ancient landscape with wild mountains and wildlife and wonderful coastlines. So hopefully one day I'll get to go. But in the meantime, I'm gonna sip their whiskey. I have of course reviewed another Jura, which I was really intrigued by. I really liked it, especially because it was one of the few whiskies I've actually managed to find black currant notes in, and that was of course the Sainsbury's exclusive, the Jura red wine cask. I also have that on my channel if you want to have a look at that one. But it is of course the Jura 18 that we're trying here today. It is a 44% ABV and it's been matured for 18 long years in American oak ex-bourbon casks and then finished, I believe, or they say enriched in superior Premier Grand Cru Classé Bordeaux red wine casks. Quite a mouthful, that one. But yeah, so it's ex-bourbon casks and then ex-red wine casks. So it's going to be very interesting to see what this is like. So let's start with having a little nose. Ooh, autumny and murky and candles and being warm inside underneath the blankets when it's kind of rugged and cold outside. I miss autumn so much. This smells exactly like autumn to me, or smells exactly what I want, what I romanticize autumn to be. Like toffee apples and a little bit of that red wine influence. Oaky and yeah, like murky, almost like autumn leaves. It's like that kind of almost vegetal notes, but always the kind of humidity mixed in, like dewy. And like a soft floral perfume as well. It feels quite dense and the sweetness is definitely something denser. But it's a fruity sweetness mixed with a little bit of that kind of dry leaves and a little bit of dried fruits, I think. It smells a bit like cherries and plums. It's kind of dark purplish fruits. Maybe like a blackberry tart. I can't wait to have a try. Let's do that. Slangera. Spicy and juicy. So juicy. I haven't tried anything this juicy in a really long time. And then it has this lovely, on the finish, it just gives you a bit of earth. A very dry, soft earth. So more like if you've been abroad and you walk on warm sand, but not when it's too warm, it's just that kind of feeling of, it's a little bit colder in the air and then from underneath you get this warmth that just surrounds your feet. That's the earthiness that I'm getting. Or you walk through a forest and the earth is dry, but it's warm from the sun who's been on it all day. Yeah, that kind of lovely, almost slightly leather earth on the finish. It just rounds it off really well. I'm just so hooked on this autumn feeling now, I think. Very kind of perfumed and fruity on the nose. Has a crisp sweetness in the middle, but it's also surrounded by fruits. But the sweetness kind of sticks out because it's so crisp. So the sweetness doesn't feel like it belongs to the fruitiness, but more maybe like icing sugar. Or toffee? Like those kind of toffee apples perhaps. And there's tannins, so the slight bitterness you get from this is definitely that kind of oaky tannins, but they're also very soft and they melt together, so you get the bitterness and then you can kind of identify them as tannins, like oaky tannins, and then they just kind of melt into that wonderful earthiness I was describing earlier. What a lovely whiskey. And the spice is kind of a cinnamon spice. It prickles my tongue a bit and lingers, and then it also melts together with that kind of oaky bitterness. But I think what's wonderful about this, what I really like about it, is that even though you have the spice and the tannins and the earthiness in the middle, it is surrounded by such a big fruitiness that it makes it really juicy. Because sometimes I feel when you've used wine casks, they can kind of go towards being too dry. So you try them and then you just feel like all the saliva's kind of left your mouth. But I still feel like I'm salivating just talking about it, because it's just leaving this lovely fruitiness. A very lovely floral note now, like a summer garden. It's a really weird thing. So I know I've been saying like floral notes and summer notes, and I tend to go towards lavender or rose because I know what they smell like, especially because I have skincare products that have those scents in them, so you kind of recognize them that way. Because I don't know the scents of all the flowers out there, but it's been really weird. So I've been walking a lot during lockdown, and anytime I feel a stronger scent, I look around and try to find the flowers, and I try to identify what they are so I can use them kind of in my aroma library, if you would say. I'm that weird person who's just smelling things on the streets. I think you definitely get that wine cask influence. I think it has a lovely balance between the fruitiness, that kind of icing sugar note, the spice oak tannins, and then that earthiness on the finish. But I would of course love to hear what you think of Jura. Are you one of those people who absolutely love it, perhaps? Have you tried any of their other expressions? They have a really interesting range of different ones. And I can definitely recommend trying this 18 if you like those flavours I've described. And of course, if you like what I'm doing here on YouTube and my other social channels, I would of course be absolutely over the moon if you consider using my affiliate links with Master Malt, the Whiskey Exchange, or SMWS the next time you're shopping with them. All the information is here in the description below, as well as links to my website, my blog, my Patreon, my new Teespring shop for whiskey merch, and my Instagram. And I want to say an absolutely massive thank you to my wonderful supporters on Patreon who keep supporting me through my whiskey journey. I really appreciate it. But I hope you've all had an absolutely wonderful day. Slán Java. Skål!